What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. This one's going to be more relatively depressing, as the last thing that you've seen was me talking about my dog was basically dying. She's gone now, so I've got all that happening. And mentally, I keep going down. I mean, as of recently, I've gotten so depressed to the point where I am cutting again, like I used to back then, and it's kind of hard to see, but there you go. So that's great. The reason why I'm bringing this up is for the specific reasons of this video. America. If you're not from America, do not bother moving here. I'm warning you now, you will be used like a fucking slave. Without the machete, without the whips, and without the nooses. You will be used as a slave. $80 an hour for mental health care? Over thousands of dollars an hour for Medicare and shit like that? You know, shit we're supposed to have free, but the government doesn't want us to have free because they only care about money? Why do you think America is called capitalist America? Because they're capitalizing off of something. At least the big-ass fucking businesses are. And you know what they're capitalizing off of? Our debts, our arguments, our suicides, our fights, our bickering, our ignorance, our intelligence, our lack of intelligence. Everything. Nobody that has the power in this country actually cares about us. So if you're going to move to this country thinking that it's the land of the free, I'm warning you right now, this is the land of the slaves. If you're Republican, and you get offended with me saying that, prove me wrong. Fucking do it. And don't use your own information. I dare you to try to spread out into other pieces of information. I've spent years, at least, 4 years, but especially the last two, at least proving rather successful. I couldn't even say the word for a second. You want to know what I figured out? It's kind of the Republicans' fault for any of this happening. I mean, shit. Third time I've had COVID, and guess what those Republicans are telling their kids at least in Colorado? Don't wear a mask, otherwise it'll make you the same sheeps as everybody else. So guess what the kids do? Don't go to school wearing a mask. Guess what they get? COVID-19. Guess what they come back home with? COVID-19. Guess who's getting infected with COVID-19? The entire other side of the family. This is the third time I've had it. All different variants. Delta, Omicron, and the one that started off in 2020. I don't remember what it's called at the moment, but that is one of the ones that I've had. One of the earlier ones. To you Republicans who don't believe COVID-19 exists because you're the only ones who have this problem, it exists. You want to know what it feels like? Have you ever worked out so much that your muscle feels like it's just kind of stretching apart? Yeah, it feels like that, except your muscles aren't being stretched apart. It does feel like somebody's grabbing your muscles and trying to tear them open, but it also makes it so that way you have a shortness of breath, your nose is always clogged, you always have a dry throat, a cotton mouth, your ears are always plugged, you're lightheaded as fuck, you can't breathe correctly like I just said previously, your mental state basically is just kind of meh, you don't know what the fuck to do because you don't even know if you're going to live through it because it feels that fucking bad. So if you're going to tell me COVID-19 doesn't exist and it's just the common cold, you're a fucking idiot. The last things I want to say to this as well is I'm starting to actually think that the only option against these people causing the world's problems that lead our politics is genocide, as they're the reason why any of this has been happening, and all of our problems have been happening since the early 1940s. Seriously, 1960, Stonewall riots. Every 20 years after that, Black Lives Matter protests and LGBTQ plus protests happen. You want to know why? Because you dumb fucking Republicans are out there literally just to get us. Because in your religion matters, and that's the only one that does. Christianity. So you Christian conservative Republican fucks can fuck off before I make you shut the fuck up and take away everything you've ever known and loved, including your religion. I need to make myself clear. Your religion is not benefiting anybody but yourselves. So when you go up to Ukrainian people who just had their families dead from bombs from a country that is way more fucking horrible than any goddamn country in this planet right now, in the sense that the government system is not any different than America, you know, the one other country that is literally the definition of communistic without even actually showing communist behaviors. Do you understand how manipulation works, Republicans? No, you don't. Because if I was to explain it to you, you would start to realize that you were manipulated, and you would get pissed off. you would get so pissed off at us about it that you would kill us. I'm sorry that you're wrong and you mentally can't handle being wrong because your entire life you've been told that ignorance is bliss and you need to be right because being wrong is what's going to get you to go to hell. I'm sorry that the Christian conservative ship that you grew up with is full of white supremacist, racist, asshole bigots who don't give a fuck about anything besides trying to own slaves. I'm sorry that you genuinely think that your party is actually benefiting anybody when it spends day after day after day calling kids pedophiles. Tell me how a 14-year-old could be a pedophile just for being trans. Tell me how a 14-year-old wants to fuck a kid because they're taking hormone therapy to make themselves a man or a woman. You know, gender-based, not sex-based. Sex is a biological term for what our sex is. We're born, our sex is male or female. Our genders are male, female, non-binary, etc. List goes on. A gender is an identity we have made up to be able to make ourselves feel better. Sex specifically is the classification of what gender and what chromosomes you have in your body that gave you the body that you have. So when you Republicans are going around and you're saying these trans people are horrible, evil, pedophilic rapists, when my own father, who was a Republican, is a pedophilic piece of shit rapist who not only manipulated my entire family, manipulated me into doing something fucking horrible that I absolutely regret, not because, I was caught because I've never really been caught, but also because of the fact that it's that fucking horrible. I feel severe remorse for it. It's one of those situations where all these serial killers and these human trafficking rings and shit like that would just stop if the police actually started targeting them. If our government forced the police to start targeting them, instead of black people driving broken cars. I watched a video recently of an 8-year-old kid being dragged out of a fucking store by his hair, hands, and neck, being told that he's going to be treated as much as a fucking serial killer criminal. Imagine being a dad and watching your kid get abused by cops and he's not even 10 yet. How do you stupid fucking Republicans believe that Blue Lives Matter when they're out there trying to end all of ours? For money. They capitalize off of your misfortune the same way our government does. So I'm tired of hearing the counter arguments because they're just not true. And I will repeat that until the day I get put on a fucking cross the same way Jesus did. Or I commit suicide. Or just die of natural causes. I don't know what's going to happen. From what I've been able to see, it seems like anytime I go outside with anything on my body that slightly signifies the fact that I could be gay, not only do I get sharp, hateful, and deceitful looks from specifically conservative Republicans, but just as long as I'm wearing a mask, I've got people harassing me about it. Why? Why do you feel so entitled to walk up to me and tell me how I'm a piece of shit because I care about not getting other people sick with a mask that I'm going to wear that keeps away 68% of the fucking virus that I'm exhaling into your face? Shut the fuck up, you non-scientifical, piece of shit, white supremacist, bigot cunt fuck who doesn't give a shit about anything else but your goddamn penis, which is now your primary head because you motherfuckers are dickheads since that's the only fucking thing you can think with. Look at Jesse Waters. He literally just admitted recently that he aired out his new girlfriend's tires while he was married to a woman already, just to, have sex with her and be closer to her. And now she's married to him because he worked out of his goddamn ass to manipulate her. He's a predator. Maybe not a pedophile, but he's definitely a misogynistic predator who don't give a fuck about the women he's assaulting. Why do you guys like Trump if he's proven time and time again to be a pedophile? Look at all the goddamn... Oh yeah, you don't care that he went to Jeffrey Epstein's island, because if you did, then you guys would be outed as pedophiles too. Oh my god, does that tell me that most Republicans think about fucking kids? Do you like that insult? Do you like how that feels to you guys? No. So why the fuck do you feel so entitled to do it to a party that has been trying to defend themselves since the early fucking 40s? I'm not even Democratic. And all I see the Democrats are is pussies, too. Now let me rip on Democrats for a minute. You guys complain about how the world has severe problems, and then complain about how nothing is getting done for it, when you guys have decided to spend your goddamn years putting yourself into a position of power where you can do something about it, just so that way we can hear finally that you say you can't. Why? Because the Republicans have spent their entire lifetime putting in law after law after law to make sure Democrats just can't win? So let's do the fucking same rigged shit that they're doing to us so we can save the planet, because we at least have a fucking reason to do it. Sometimes good people have to do bad fucking shit to save an entire planet. And if I have to do bad shit as a one-man army, I fucking will. But at that point, the only option I will have is genocide. Why? If God exists, why is he leaving me with this? And you're going to say, no, that's not the only option. I'm sorry, but it is. They're too ignorant. They're too self-entitled. They don't care. They just, in one small sentence, they don't fucking care about anything but themselves. They think that they're right all the time, 24-7, while is saying at the same time that they could be wrong, but they never act like that's a possibility. Ever. And most of you guys are adults. Twice my fucking age. And you guys are stupid. Holy shit. The amount of uneducated adults I see is fucking sad. I was told as a kid, the older you get, the more intelligent you get. No, you get wiser, but that's fucking it. You get more wise. That doesn't mean you're intelligent. In fact, I'm going to argue this right now. Wisdom usually does not come with intelligence. I'm intelligent, but I'm not the wisest person on the fucking planet. I know that. I'm not even the most intelligent person on this planet. But at the same time, knowing I have math and blueprints to be able to fucking terraform Mars and Venus, knowing that I've spent years going through different prototype after prototype of different forms of fucking tank attachments and shit like that, let me go ahead and pull out a few handfuls of papers that I've already showed before. You know, the Centauro KPZ, the KPZ A8A1 Tiger. Leviathan Tiger, as I called it. You know, the prototype that's literally overpowered that the United States military would not produce because not only would it keep their American soldiers alive, but they need those fucking deaths in order to have more money flow through the system so that way the rich motherfuckers can collect it. I literally cannot be intelligent in the United States of America because legally it is fucking stupid and it's not allowed. That's why you don't see people like Albert Einstein or Benjamin Franklin creating and inventing new pieces of technology, because we are not allowed to. We're being forced to be stupid. We're being forced to be slaves. Yeah, we don't have machetes hitting us in the back of the Achilles tendon, but it is still happening by forcing suicide. Again, I cut myself for the first time in years from how depressed I'm starting to get. The only thing I'm really alive for anymore is the fact that I have to spread that intelligence. I have to, or this planet will die in 70 years. 24 billion innocent lives, along with the 7.6 billion human beings on this planet that caused the problems in the first place and were too selfish and ignorant and also too weak mentally to be able to handle taking care of a goddamn worldwide problem. Look at Hungary and Saudi Arabia right now. Gay people are being literally wiped out. At least in Saudi Arabia. If I was to walk down the streets in Saudi Arabia with a goddamn skirt on, even though I wax my entire body, that don't matter to them. I'm gay, so they're gonna hack me up to death with machetes. I'm surprised you dumb fucking Republicans aren't doing that, considering you have a militia just for the sole purpose of defending your goddamn country, which you guys are the reason why it's falling apart. And you're gonna call me a traitor because I don't like white supremacist America? You're a stupid piece of shit that deserves to kill yourself. And I hope you understand that. Because your death is going to very much benefit more innocent and helpless civilians on this goddamn earth. But you don't care about the planet. You barely fucking care about yourselves. So I hope for now, you guys at least think twice before you start opening your fucking mouths, you stupid pieces of shits. Because that's all you guys are going to be in the history books. No different than Nazis. Just because the Nazis during World War II, the actual soldiers, didn't want to kill Jews, they still fucking did it. And if my reincarnation memories are real, then I was one of them to do it. Sad, right? But at least I learned my fucking lesson on how bad that shit is, which is the goddamn same reason that I don't like Trump, because he is no different than Hitler, except he's a fucking pedophile. Who also helped with human trafficking. But you fuckers ignore that just because of the fact that you're conservative Republican and anything that you say goes. Fuck off and kill yourself. That's all I have to say to you guys anymore. And yeah, is this a hot take? Oh, abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. But until you guys wake up, that's the only thing you motherfuckers are going to hear from people like me anymore. Because you guys deserve to hear the amount of pain you're leaving on innocent people. Most of the LGBTQ plus youth that you're calling pedophiles, the word is in the fucking title. Youth. They're kids. Because only recently, in the last 15 fucking years, has homosexuality been slightly okay. Slightly. Just ever so fucking slightly. I'm walking on eggshells because I'm a homosexual. That's all it takes? Really? If I was Kyle Rittenhouse and I was gay, I would have been locked up in prison for 3 consecutive life sentences. But because Kyle Rittenhouse is a white supremacist too? Nope. No fucking crime committed, no, nothing. Even though, legally, in all states of America, you're not supposed to have a gun until you're in your 20s. How the fuck did he get away with that? Because of white supremacist conservative Republicans. He even fake cried. I can tell that's a fake tear, because I've produced them before. I know manipulation tactics when I see them because I had a pedophilic, rapist, abusive Republican father who was just there to fuck us. And you're going to tell me that I'm wrong, despite the years of pain and evidence that I've had to go through. Fuck you and everything you've ever loved and cared for. I hope I make myself clear to you fucks. But Democrats specifically, I've got one question for you. Stop being whiny babies. You guys have more than enough power to start causing changes. So how about the first thing that you do? Anti-defamation bills. So that way people that are white supremacists can't discriminate against gays or blacks without having $2.4 billion sued on them, along with 14 years of jail. Oh my God. And then guess what? White supremacists would move out of America and go to Saudi Arabia. But Saudi Arabia doesn't want white supremacists like that. They want their own supremacists. So they're going to kill you guys off. Which is funny, because you guys aren't accepted anywhere in the world. Why do you think you are? Despite the entire world laughing and literally yelling and hating you. Why do you think you're right when 6.8 billion human beings roughly are telling you that you're wrong? You're only the minority because you're a white supremacist. Not because you actually are the minority. Do you know what America is supposed to be? The land of free, the land of opportunity, the land of freedom, the land of protection, the land of intelligence, the land of free mental and physical health care. The land where we can actually start inventing things legally without it costing billions of dollars, an entire arm and a fucking leg to do so. Without having to worry about walking down the streets and ending up kidnapped just to have my intestines harvested while I'm alive. Only in America do you have to worry about that shit, and Saudi Arabia and other places alike, which are small, hard to see, because most of the time you hear good shit from places like America. No, I will die on this statement. And Tucker, if you want to say something about this, go right the fuck ahead, because there's only one sentence that I can finish for you. You're wrong. That's it. You're wrong. You are always going to be wrong, because the only reason why you're in politics is for yourself. You self-centered piece of shit. There isn't really a way to make this lighthearted at all, because it's not a lighthearted scenario. It's a life or death scenario, and nobody is treating it that way. Besides me and the other kids my age. How disappointed do I have to be? I'm a kid, And I'm smarter than 76% of the population of adults. If my IQ is actually over 130, then that makes sense. Because I'm able to fix the world's problems like that. Fuck it. You guys listening to this video right now, even if you like or love what I'm saying or disagree with it whatsoever and you actually hate it, vote me into politics. Because in the end of the day, you'll see what I mean. Not only am I actually going to implement bills that matter, but I'm going to implement bills that make it so our survivability as a human race on the planet that is burning because we are making it burn becomes more effective and more easier to survive and thrive in. So please, if you disagree with me, not only tell me why, but prove me wrong, and not just with one link, because that's not what it takes, regardless of what you believe. I watch TYT Sports mainly, but almost everything they say, I have to research myself to make sure that it's true. And guess what? A good portion of what they say is true. It's just their opinions that get in the way of how to be able to spread facts. And you know what? What I'm saying right now, I don't count these as opinions. Because there's a factual reason for why any of these actions have to be committed. But you dumb Republicans are going to see it as leftist liberal logic. Cool. Nice to see that you're willing to dismiss everything I said because I don't like Republicans. Because I don't like the country that you guys decided to destroy. That's basically it for this video. I have another video coming up that's not as irritating, a little bit more lighthearted, but hopefully I'll see you guys soon. Love you all, and may you find peace in the domain.